Hey everybody, it's Vince from Bradley Kia here in Pueblo, Colorado, in southern Colorado. And today I have a treat for you. I have the 2022 EX Sorento front wheel drive in Aurora Black with black interior. This is a hybrid, which I think I only have two coming in the next 2 months, so kind of a rare vehicle, and it is one of my favorite vehicles that Kia has come out with recently, the hybrid Sorento. If you are new to my channel, please like and subscribe. I'm still trying to get 400 subscribers by the end of October. I think I could definitely get there. I just need the good people like you to support. So we'll jump right into it. So again, 2022 EX hybrid Sorento. Right up front you have the tiger eye lights and the tiger nose grille. You have the script badging for Kia in the 2022 models come with the script badging instead of their old logo emblem. And then you have down here you have your parking sensors as well, your forward sensors. Pretty neat. You also have your lamps down there and your LED lamps up here. So one thing I really like about this model is on the key fob you have remote start. So pretty easy with Kia. You want to lock it, press and hold for 5 seconds, and there she goes. So super quiet, you can't really hear it, which is because it's a hybrid, but it is on. You saw the lights flash. Pretty nifty. This is the 1.6 turbo. It's kind of the side profile. Push and pop gas cap, which I really like. So if the vehicle is locked, which I'm going to lock it, doesn't open. If it is unlocked, pops right open. So pretty nifty. So push and pop gas cap, really easy to use. Big fan of that. A lot of people are too. Coming around to the back, again you have the Kia script badging, which I am a huge fan of. I really like that. You have your backup camera right underneath. I don't know if you guys can see it. I guess I can get a little closer. I am mobile. And then you have Sorento, big and bold, right across the rear. You have your horizontal lights, and then your eco hybrid badging here on the right hand side. I really do like this little lip that they've been doing right here, kind of to protect you against the rain. Really does help. I think it is a vast improvement from the other models. And then I don't know if you see in there, but you see the windshield wipers. So I like how the rear wiper comes down from the top, and it's much cleaner look, a much smoother look. I'm kind of a big fan of that. So I like to do these videos kind of backwards to forwards, instead of starting at the front. When it comes to the inside features, I like to start at the back. So right here you are going to have, down here underneath the E, your automatic push and pop. So it does have the auto lift gate, which is really cool. I've put these seats down on purpose so you can see the cargo room. You have plenty of cargo room here behind the second row. You see what it kind of looks like there with that second row folded down. And then you have your little cubby space down here, which has the jack kit, and then the space for the battery. You have your 12-volt port right there, and as well as your buttons to drop the second row. If you were to press those buttons, that second row would drop, which is pretty nifty. You do have your seatbelt hooks, so it gives it a much cleaner look. There we go. Have the same thing on this side as well. You have your seatbelt hook, gives it a nice clean look, which I am a fan of. You have your drink holders, your little cubby space there for your third row passengers. You also have the USB port. That USB port will let your back passengers, charge their phones, charge their tablets, all that good stuff. In To raise the third row is super easy. You just get this little flap here, give it some strength, pop it right up. See that legroom down there? I really do like how in these Sorentos they gave the legroom in the third row, so you know, a full-size adult can fit back there, which is pretty nifty. There we go. All the legroom. So let me show you how to operate the second seat. Oh, locked. Where's the keys? Unlock. So you do have child anchor locks right here. So if you have little ones in car seats, you have child anchor locks in the second row, you have them in the third row, and then you have the hooks right in the seats right there. So you have the hooks as well. That way you can, you know, hook that in. So you have the little lever right there on the side. If you push that lever, let's see if I can do this one-handed. Oh, needed two hands. Push that lever, pull the lever, and then that seat comes up like that. Super comfortable, super roomy. So if I hop in the second row, my knees do not touch. I have plenty of legroom back here in the second row. You have USB chargers for your second row passengers built into the seats right there. Then you have your air vents, which you can turn open and close. And then you have your USB port and your 12-volt port down there. Not bad at all. So how do you get into the third row? Well, if you're little, you can go down that center aisle right there and get into the third row. Honestly, I've done it. It's not the funnest when you're 5'9", 5'10", 190 pounds, give or take. It's doable, but it's not ideal. What you have are these buttons right there. So you have a button up top, and then you have a button down below right there. If you press it, seat slides forward. And then you have little seatbelt clips here as well. So little seatbelt clips there. You also have a hand hook right there to get you in. And then let's see if I can get back here by myself with one hand. So I'm gonna crawl in. All right. I'm in the third row. I definitely needed two hands, but I am back here. So let me just go ahead and close that, lock that. So this seat's not pushed all the way back, plenty of leg room. This seat here is pushed all the way back, so let me just scoot behind it. So now I'm in the third row. Knees are, you know, basically touching the back of the second seat, but honestly, it's not horrible. Not horrible at all. I fit pretty well back here. Whew. It's super hot here in Colorado today, so I'm just taking a moment in the air conditioning. In the second row, you do have these armrests that articulate, so you can put these guys down. Pretty popular. Alright, so let's say you're by yourself and you're back in the third row, your people that you're riding with forgot about you, and now you gotta get out. Well, how do you do that? Again, could go through the middle. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get that done today. So, got your button up top. Press this guy. Seat slides forward again, like I was showing before, and then you can get out. You have the little places to put your feet, and then again you have your little hand hooks there, and then you have your hand hooks up there. So up there you also have a garment hook as well, so you can, you know, have your hangers there. So the air conditioning's on. I don't know if you heard that, but you kind of heard the engine spool up a bit, so you can tell that the engine kicked on there instead of just the hybrid battery. Alright, so let's get out. Let's try not to kill ourselves. getting out much easier than getting in one-handedly. So let's go back here. I'm going to go ahead and press that top button there, close that door. I always do love that. I'm going to reposition the seat here for the next salesperson who's going to sell this thing or attempt to sell this thing. So I did the little move there with the bar. So you have the bar underneath to slide the second row forward and back. You also have these cool little map pockets here, which I've always been a fan of. You have the flap, and then you also have the net mesh, which is kind of cool. I've always liked to put stuff back there. Okay. I don't know if you can hear the beep, but it is beeping at me, letting me know that the keys are in my pocket and the car is on. So it is beeping at me saying, hey dude, you're walking away and your car's still on. These guys should get about 37 miles to the gallon, which is pretty nifty, especially for being an SUV, a third row SUV. Taking a look here at the fuel economy real quick. I don't know if you can see that in the window sticker, but it ranks an 8 out of 10, and then the smog rating a 7 out of 10. 39 in the city, 35 in the highway, combination of 37, and then MSRP 37,840. Not horrible. Okay, so let's talk inside features in the cabin. Let me turn the blower speed down just so you can hear me. Alright, so this is kind of my favorite part. I love the cabin because that's where you're going to spend most of your time. So right here you have your standard window locks, window controls, door locks, mirror controls. You have your electronic seats for the driver, so forward, back, up, down, lumbar, all that good stuff. Then you have your safety features here on the interior panel. So you have lane keep assist. You can open the trunk from this panel as well. The illumination button, that's this guy right here. So that will illuminate your screens forward and light or dark. Then you have your traction control, which I don't see why most people need to turn that off, but you have traction control there. This car does have blind spot detector, so you have blind spot detectors there in the mirror. And the little etching right there, if you see the little triangle with the exclamation point in it, if someone's in your blind spot, it's going to highlight yellow, and if someone is in your blind spot and you're using your turn signal, it's going to beep at you. Thing's beeping at me already. Let's see what's going on. Oh, okay, so he's got the new feature on here that kind of started in 2021. Your vehicle will automatically shut off in 23 minutes and 18 seconds. That's kind of a new feature. You can set that for an hour as well, to count down from an hour instead of count down from a half hour. Some people like it. I've never personally used it, but it's a feature that exists. So in this infotainment, in this forward screen here, you see on the left hand side your charging status, your EV mode. It shows you that you're in EV mode, which is a combination of regenerative braking. So when you're using your brakes, it's going to help charge the battery. Also, when you're coasting, it's going to charge the battery. It's called regenerative braking. You have your fuel capacity, your battery capacity there at the bottom. Miles till empty, 87 miles till empty. You have your temperature outside. It's 86. It feels more like 106. And you have your how many miles you've driven, 11 miles. So we just got this off the truck this morning. It got through detail and PDI and all that good stuff, so it hit the lot this morning. So I want to do a video on it because we haven't had a lot of good inventory lately. And then you have your speedometer there on the right hand side. So coming down to the window stick here, the light stick, I always like auto. So if you click it one to click up, you're gonna see your lights are gonna get set to auto. That's something I enjoy because then you don't have to mess with your lights. Your lights will go up and down as the sun goes up and down. You have on the left hand side of the steering wheel your and how to answer your phone. You have your button here that is for your voice assistant, so that's like Bixby or your Google Assistant, or if you have a Apple phone, it's Siri. And then answer call, decline a call, your different radio modes, and then your volume and tuner there. Right hand side, you have your lane follow assist, your adaptive cruise control, your regular old cruise control, and then this little button here, the 2 pages. That 2 pages will change that center screen. And then if you use the toggle switch right here, this guy right there, that toggle switch will move you up and down. So as you go up and down, you have different options to display. That's my favorite screen. I like that in my Kia. And but you have your trip info, which you can just reset by pressing and holding OK. Tells you your driving style, you know, your compass, lane keep assist, attention levels, all that stuff. And then your energy flow, since it's a hybrid, it tells you, you know, where your energy is coming from. I'm gonna throw this guy into drive real quick. So you have your turning knob down here. So you know it's a hybrid vehicle or an EV vehicle in this model because you have the knob instead of the gear shift. Just gonna put my foot on the brake, move her over to drive, just so it stops that beeping. That's just something I'm gonna do. Pull her up a bit. Awesome. So now you can see the power is coming from the battery, not using any gas in that quick little maneuver there. So coming back, since I already kind of touched on it, we're gonna go back to the knob. You have drive, neutral, and reverse. Reverse is always fun because you have the backup camera, and then you have the guidance. You also have that slight beep letting people know that, hey, I'm backing up. This vehicle is very quiet, so that's something that you can't see. I'm gonna go ahead and put it back down in park. And then since we're here, we have our heated seats on both sides. You have your USB port, your charging port, and then you have your cubby. You also have a wireless phone charger right there as well. Coming back down here to the panel, you have forward parking sensors, auto hold, your camera. So if you press that guy, you can engage the camera. Not too bad. And then you have your electronic parking brake and your downward hill control. You have your cup holders right here. You have cup holders in the door. You have cup holders in the back door. Back there. You have one there and then one down there. And then you have cup holders way back there in the third row. So you have more cup holders in this thing than you can seat people, because you have what? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. You have a spot for 10 cups in a car that seats 6. So yeah, that's what you got. Climate control. So you have your dual climate control with this knob here and this knob here, so you can be at different temperatures. I thought it was a little warm. I'm going to take this all the way down to low. So you have driver only on the hybrid, which is kind of cool. So if you're by yourself and you kind of really about conserving energy, pressing drivers only will delete everything on the passenger side. So the passenger vents are now turned off and you only feel it during the driver vents. So kind of cool. You can turn that off and on at will. Your directionals, how you want your circulated air, and then your directionals for your if you want the air blowing on your feet, all that kind of stuff. Defrosters, blower speed, pretty nifty. And then you have your infotainment system. So kind of doing this a little backwards, but you do have your infotainment system right here. Complete touchscreen, but if you don't like touchscreen, you have the physical button. Well, they're not even physical buttons. You have the touch buttons on the left and then on the right. So you know, if you want to go right to radio, it'll take you right to radio. You have your tri-level screen here, which is kind of cool. So you have, you know, your main 2 boxes are this big one, and then you have a third box right here, and this guy's manipulable, so you can scroll it up and down. You know, you can kind of put whatever you want on there, and then if you ever see this little white arrow, you can press that, it'll collapse it, and then you got the big screen right there. Little arrow takes you back, little house takes you home. So I'm gonna press a little house. It takes you here into your main menu with the little purple icons. Everything and anything is kind of controlled through your infotainment system. So you have your hybrid mode, kind of like on the front screen, but it gives you a much bigger way to look at it. You can see what your average fuel economy is, your kilowatt usage, your energy flow again, and then you can make that just the big one if you want. Again, little arrow takes you back, little house takes you home. I'm going to go back a couple steps. You have valet mode, so if you're, valeting this thing and you want them going through the computer, the valet person, you can lock the computer that way. It'll lock with a code. You have quiet mode. Quiet mode's kind of cool. I usually like to demonstrate it, but YouTube will then censor the music, so then it'll censor my video, so I'm not going to demonstrate it. But when quiet mode is selected, all radio and media is played only in the front speakers. All volume levels above 7 will be decreased down to 7 automatically. So if you have people sleeping in the back and you're driving and you don't want to wake them up, it'll just play the music in the front speakers, not in the back speakers, and it'll play it kind of quiet. So pretty nifty there. I actually get a lot of people that like quiet mode. HD radio, your phone projection, so that's where you would do your Android Auto and Apple CarPlay through the USB cables. You have your setup, which will take you into, there we go. It'll take you into another screen here with kind of your physical buttons, how you want. You can manipulate this thing, customize it any way you basically want it. So if you go into vehicle per se, it'll take you into your driver assistance, your driver modes, your eco vehicle modes, the cluster, the climate, the lights, the doors, convenience. So you can, if you don't want something on, like one of the safety features or the wireless charging system, you can turn it off. I mean, you can go through here and you can play around with this for a good hour and get everything that you want. High beam assist is kind of cool. My wife likes it a lot. It's where your lights, it'll assist in reducing the high beam glare, which affects drivers in oncoming vehicles. So basically it'll dim, it'll light and dark your high beam assist right there, which is pretty cool. Headlight delay, so when you're turning your car on, how many times it'll flash, all kinds of stuff. You can play around with your cluster. Eco vehicle mode, so if you want the coasting sound or the coasting start, like it's super cool. You can just, like I said, play around with this thing forever. You can have themes. I don't know if you kind of saw that when I first started the car, but you can have like themes for your clock, for your analog. You can make it digital. You can do your split screens, all kinds of different ways. You can customize it however you want. I bet it's under UVO. So UVO, so this car works with our UVO app. It's something that we offer, which is kind of cool. It's basically, maintenance and that sort of stuff. Alright, sorry about the quick edit there, but the phone got so hot that it shut itself off. That's how hot it is here doing these things. So getting back to where I was, so UVO, you have 911 Connect, which I really like. 911 Connect is where if your phone is connected to the car and the airbags deploy, then the phone will call 911 for you. So that's a really cool feature, super useful. Again, little arrow takes you back, little house takes you home, and you can play around with these settings a lot, but I just want to give you a different highlight. You have driver themes up here, so you can have 2 profiles and then a guest, so you can have your stuff configured to one particular user, which is really cool. You got a lot of positive feedback with that feature. Coming up to your mirror, you do have home link right there. So you have garage door opener. You can program that to your garage door. Super cool. I kind of wish I had that in my Kia, but I really am a big fan of home link. And then you have your UVO buttons up there as well. These vehicles come with a 10-year, 100,000 mile warranty, a 5-year 60 bumper to bumper, and a 5-year 60 roadside, which is pretty neat. So, I mean, one of the best warranties on the planet. So let's do just a quick little test drive. So hopefully this thing doesn't shut off on me again because it's just so blazing hot. And I don't want to turn the fan up too high because then you can't hear me. So, but let's do a quick little test drive and test how responsive it is. So again, I'm going to go ahead and put myself in drive. Very quiet car. Just going to go around the corner here, make sure nobody's coming. So see down there in your screen how you kind of see where it's distributing the power. So now you can tell we are using the engine. See if I take my foot off the gas and I'm just coasting a bit. You can kind of see how it's distributing the power, how it changes a bit. So again, just kind of coasting, and you're not only charging the battery, but you're using the just the hybrid mode. So again, that's the regenerative braking that you're seeing there, charging the battery as you're basically as you don't have your foot onto the accelerator. So I'm not going to go too far on this one, just a quick little around the block, and then I'm going to put this guy back up on our pedestal because it's honestly the nicest car I have on the lot right now, just because we don't have any inventory. I think I have 2 Neros, 2 Fortes, and a Sportage, and I'm surprised that Sportage hasn't sold yet. And there's a little certified circle there. And then we have our pad, which kind of I always say the money beats. This is where the nice cars go. Something we want to sell. Kind of bring it up a bit. And there we go. That is the hybrid Sorento EX front wheel drive model. See, I'm back in park. So thanks for watching. If you watched this far, again, remember, like and subscribe if you like what you see. It definitely does help me. You know, I want to get to 1,000. That's kind of like my short-term goal here, and my shorter-term goal is basically 400 by the end of October. So I know I can get there, especially if you guys like what you see. These Kias really do stand out. They really do. You know, speak for themselves. Basically, they have better words for themselves than I have for it. So one last view of the cabin. Thanks again, guys, and I will see you down at the dealership.